Now, Kayleigh McEnany and former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey, both Trump supporters. Nayyera Haque, former State Department spokesperson under Hillary Clinton, and Keith Boykin, Clinton supporters. Kayleigh, let me start with you. Lots here to go around. Powell tearing into Trump, calling him a national disgrace, an international pariah. It's a pretty damning statement. I mean, Colin Powell is a highly respected former Secretary of State.
He's also someone who endorsed President Barack Obama for president twice, so I'm hardly surprised he had bad words for Donald Trump. What I am surprised by are this concerted effort to blame Hillary Clinton's email server on Colin Powell while she's out publicly saying it's a mistake. Colin Powell saying he had to throw a tantrum in the Hamptons, telling Hillary's, quote, minions, you can't do this to me, don't do this to me. So when she's owning up to something publicly, she's still behind the scenes trying to find a way to avert blame.
Nayyera, Powell also did slam Clinton, okay? And some of this was pretty harsh. In one email, which Elise referred to, but I'll read it in more full here for the viewers. I would rather not have to vote for her, although she is a friend I respect. A 70-year-old person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational. The sentence then concludes with a very lewd reference to Bill Clinton's infidelities, which I'm not going to read on national television. But basically, attacking Clinton and her husband.
Say what you will about Hillary Clinton, what he did not do specifically was question her credibility with international leaders, her popularity among international leaders, her ability to execute policy, her understanding about
this. You came with a defense, okay?
And in addition, she doesn't have this strange bromance with, or romance, I guess, in her case, with Russia and Putin in general. And that's at the heart of all of these leaks and emails is the fact that Trump is very close with Russia. Russia's state actors are known in the international community for hacking government accounts. Trump then egged on back in July, calling out Russia. Continue to leak and see what you can find. I mean, that is not the stature or the type of behavior we should be expecting from a commander-in-chief, and that is not something that Colin Powell has ever, or anybody else, has ever accused Hillary Clinton.
Keith, one thing also in here, though, of course, he took issue with her blaming him for her email choices. Sort of blaming the Clinton mafia were the words that he used.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of CYA going on here with Colin Powell. When the first story came out about Hillary Clinton sort of attaching Colin Powell to the story, he denied it. Then a few weeks later, it turned out he was actually a little bit more involved than he admitted. So I'm sure he's trying to protect his legacy along this story as well. But the damning thing here to me, it's not surprising that a Republican would say critical things about a Democratic presidential nominee. What is surprising is that a Republican Secretary of State is condemning in the harshest terms the Republican nominee for President of the United States.
He voted for Obama.
Let me just finish this. Let me just finish this statement, though. What we have here is unprecedented. There is not a single Secretary of State or a former president of the Republican Party who has endorsed Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. That's a shocking
I want to just break in here because we do have some more breaking news about Donald Trump's health, including something he just said in Canton, Ohio. Betsy, I want to go to you on this. A new clip has just been released from Dr. Oz. Trump is talking about his stamina. Let me play that first.
Let's talk about stamina. You've used that word a lot. You've made it an issue in this campaign. You argue that a president has to have a tremendous amount of stamina. If elected at age 70, you'll be the oldest person to ever enter the Oval Office. Why do you think you have the stamina for the job?
Yeah, just about the same age as Ronald Reagan, and Hillary's a year behind me. I would say just based on my life. I mean, I actually, and I don't know if this makes sense, I feel as good today as I did when I was 30.
All right, so Betsy, he just said that.
I'd like to address that because 70 is the new 50. The developments in cardiovascular medicine and in fitness medicine over the last 20 years clearly can be verified that a 70-year-old man today has 7 years more life expectancy than someone in 1970 did. In other words, we have gained so much, not just in life expectancy, by the way, but also in quality of life.
All right.
So that when you compare age 70 with previous presidents, especially from a century ago.
Which may be fair, by the way, is actually a defense of both of them because they are only 1 year apart. But Donald Trump just came out a moment ago in Canton, Ohio. Let me just play this. And actually, he's been very quiet about Clinton's health this week, but now she released some records. He's specifically talking about her stamina. Here he is.
It is hot, and it's always hot when I perform because the crowds are so big. These rooms were not designed for this kind of a crowd. I don't know, folks. You think Hillary would be able to stand up here for an hour and do this? I don't know.
Obviously, he's talking to his supporters there, Kaylee. But is that appropriate in a week where he has tried to be quiet about her health to basically say she doesn't have the strength to stand there for us?
It is appropriate because he has said time and time again, as everyone on the Trump campaign has, she's in our prayers. We want her to get better. He's excited that she's going to be back out on the trail tomorrow. What he has repeatedly done, though, long before the health conspiracy theories came out and whatnot, going back to last year, he has contrasted his work ethic with her work ethic. She took off nearly 14 days in August. He did not. He has been out on the trail. He has been out on the trail far more than she has.
If you look at her long history as Secretary of State, she has traveled far more internationally than any of her predecessors, including presidents. She's been out on the campaign trail. It is not just a matter of big rallies. It's private meetings, individual fundraising. She is nonstop. Her work ethic should never be questioned. And secondarily, she revealed far more in her health, as far as her health records, cholesterol, blood pressure, than just a piece of paper handed over to Dr. Oz. Right now, we're expected to take Donald Trump's word about his own stamina and how he feels.
And we'll see. There's only one way. Only one way that we're going to know, and that is if tomorrow he actually releases that paper and we see what's on it. So we shall see.